old are you now, Fara? No, we shouldn't ask.
40.
You're 40 now. Like, look at Modric. The
I know,
Champions League.
unbelievable, yeah.
39, officially the oldest man's player playing football. I mean, age is a number, especially if you can still play like that. Like, it doesn't disappear overnight, does it?
No, and you know what? I think we had the advantage of that we weren't full-time, so we wasn't putting the mileage through the legs really early in our career. The young ones that have turned professional now at 16, 17, you know, how long are they going to be able to play? Are they going to play till I did at 37, 38? I don't know, because, as I said, training twice a week and having your day job.
That's a real interesting one, because I think too there's like this thing in the women's game, not every club, but there's some clubs out there are like international teams, and they think everyone has to be on the pitch the same amount, doing the exact same stuff. And I'm like, no, manage your players differently. So if you've got a senior player, surely they don't need to be on the training pitch as much. But it's like you almost get punished. It's like, again, you're an older player, but I'm like, you can still, if you can last the 90 minutes, 90 plus minutes, whatever it is, if it's 60 minutes, brilliant. Why should you be forced to be on that pitch? If you're going to be in good condition to play at the weekend, what's the problem?
Do you mean training? Why should you be forced to do the same training as an 18-year-old?
I get in the men's game, they've got more staff and stuff, so it's maybe a bit easier to accommodate. But in the women's game, I'm like, it's just a no-brainer, but yet so many people are against it. I don't understand it.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's for the older players. Sometimes I feel like the older players want to prove a point that they can keep doing it. As in, like, oh, you know, the youngsters aren't taking my place. I need to prove that I don't need that extra rest day. But actually, in doing that, probably gives you that little bit more longevity with it. But yeah, maybe an ego thing, a pride thing with us older players. But certainly management, I think throughout the women's game, in terms of there's so many different things that need to change. You know, we could talk about diet and nutrition. Does everybody have to be under a certain body fat in order to perform? In my opinion, no. Do you have to, it depends on positions. Do you have to be able to run X amount? And it does need to be managed a lot better. And then, yeah.
The body fat is an interesting one because everybody's a different shape, different size. Like, you think back to your times being younger at England, what you were eating was such a big thing. You know, like, for you, you know, everything that all these players were comparing each other and whatever like that. That's quite difficult at that age, having to manage that.
It was horrible. I mean, I like food. I'm not hiding the fact that I enjoy eating food. And you train every day, you train to such a high intensity. At England, I felt when sports science come into it and they started to change the menu at camps, that everybody's watching what everybody's eating. And, you know, when they're putting up your body fat, you know, you start comparing your body fat to the next person. But for me, everybody's different. Your body shapes, as you mentioned, are different. And one person's body type to another's, you know, in terms of what will get best performance isn't the same. I always felt when I was a little bit heavier, I actually felt like I was better. I didn't look better, but I actually felt better in terms of having an impact later in games. When I was going through the stage of trying to keep my body fat low, trying to look good in my kit or on TV, whatever you want to call it, or for the tick box of your body fat percentage, I actually felt like you get to 60 minutes, I'm like, I'm flagging. And, you know, it was always trying to kind of keep that balance of what's right and what's not right.
I agree with that. I know I'm in a place now where I'm comfortable, so I know I'm never going to have a six-pack. I don't want a six-pack. I like the finer things in life. But I'm like, as long as I can run, like, I can still run. Fitness testing, like, for a midfielder, I'm up there, I can run. I've got an engine, I can run, so whatever. I'm never going to look good in a bikini. I'm okay with that.
Me too.
But people are...
I wear a tracksuit on the beach.
But I think in the women's game, it's an image in the changing room. My changing room's banter. My changing room's great because we are all the same. We've got Mitchie, we've got G, and we are, honestly, we do not look like athletes. But I'd say they're the best players in the team, so I'm like, what does it matter? They perform in the weekend, so... But it's definitely an image thing now.
100%. And it should be a performance-based thing, not an image. I hate that.
Yeah, especially younger ones coming through now, and social media is a big part of it. Like, they have to look a certain way and then they have to hit targets and body fat percentage. I'm going to start editing.
Have you noticed I've never put a bikini picture on my Instagram?
That's because it's on your OnlyFans. No.
How much are you now?
It's an album like that.
Don't worry, Fara. Don't worry, there's no secrets here. Let's look ahead, shall we, to the international break. Obviously, Ruesha's with us because she's not got a six-pack and her Achilles.
Because she's trying to lose all that weight and now she's injured.
Look at him sat here now, drinking water.
England will be playing Germany in the game, and then it's South Africa, the game after that. I want to talk about the up-front situation now. Ruesha had mentioned this last week. The Arsenal fans are coming at her hard and fast because
they come at her? These Arsenal social media fans, they are the worst for it. I mean, I'm sorry, but no matter what you say about Arsenal, they are on you. They're like literally, but go and tell me because they're going to get on me now for saying
that. That's like you flung yourself under the bus.
So Ruesha was speaking about Beth Mead being a more natural finisher than Alessia Russo. Now, Russo, fair play to her, brilliant player. She just won England's Player of the Year there. 6 goals she got last season. She's kind of off it at the minute now. No discredit to how hard that woman works. But what's your opinion on Ruesha at the minute?
I feel like there's more to it. I think she's a fantastic player. I think in and out of possession, I think she's really key. I don't know if she's lacking confidence. I don't know. Sometimes when I look at her, I think she's a little bit small for her build. In terms of, we talk about diet, you know, we're talking about body fat and wanting to be a body type. I actually think she looks too small.
Really?
Yeah, in my opinion, I think she looks too small for what her attributes are and what she needs to perform.
Yeah.
And then it's that inconsistency of run of games and getting those connections in the final third. You know, for strikers, they like to know what they're playing with. And I feel there's always changes without kind of... I think it's hard for strikers. They want to get on a run of games, don't they, to score goals. And then when your manager changes you for tactical reasons, you kind of feel like, I'm just getting on a run, I've got a goal. But something's lacking there. I don't know if it's something away from football. It's really difficult to talk about somebody because I rate her really highly. I think her work rate, I think, you know, what she brings is tremendous. But she's definitely not on it at the minute. And I can't put a finger on why.
Do you think Aggie Beaver-Jones will maybe get a run out in this campaign, perhaps over Ruesha? Or again, is it one of those things to... Because for England, Ruesha she's such a big player and she does find the back of the net for England, doesn't she? You're right, with Arsenal, it's been different. She's been moved around a fair bit. She's been on the bench in some games. And then obviously the manager's stepped away from his job. So obviously there is stuff going on there at club level that maybe actually the run out at international level will be good for her.
And I think she knows where she stands at international. I think she kind of, especially with Rach Daly hanging her international boots up, I think she kind of made that role her own, and there wasn't really anybody that is kind of challenging her alongside that. So you feel confident in that environment. I think you could see a difference in confidence when she goes with England to when she's at Arsenal. When you play for, I mean, I went there, I said, you've got huge pressure. She's come with, you know, whether people talk about her salary, whether the price tag they wanted to get her for before she come on a free, there was everything that went with that. And there's pressure to go to Arsenal perform, and not just her, but the whole squad are underperforming. Fingers always seem to be getting point in different directions, and no ownership is ever taken at that club, I feel. And yeah, they're definitely a club that should be doing far better than what they are. As I said, Lioness had to step away, and I think players, in my opinion, should have took a little bit more responsibility, and I think fans need to accept that. You know, you've got a whole squad of internationals. It can't just be your manager that puts a team out there that creates 20+ opportunities every game. The highest creators in the WSL last season and coming into this season. But you don't score and win games. You know, at some point, players have to take a look, right?
I think we're going to get you security when you next go back to... That's what I'm thinking, so...
That's what happens when you have your wine.
I know, I've only had a sip as well.
More.
I'll have some more, yeah. This for the Arsenal fans.